Hello, everybody, and welcome to Binging with Badness, the only podcast where the final score was Biden 290, Trump 214, Detroit Lions 3. My name is Mitchell McIntyre.
I'm Vanessa Vogel.
And we're very happy you're here. This is our first episode after the live stream. We're doing live streams now. Because I'm here to tell you, it's a whole lot easier to watch these boring movie and mystery movies when you're with people you know. So the one we did before this was The Christmas Ring, which started out like a good plot.
Ish.
It did not end in a good plot.
No.
So if you didn't listen to the whole video, which was 2 hours long, you have other shit to do. I think we wound up giving it a 3.
I think it was was it a 3? Or
it was a 3 or it was 3.5. Point is, that was the worst movie we'd ever seen. In conjunction of this show. And I was worried because every time we have like a truly abhorrent movie, I'm like, this is it. This is all it's going to be now. We have to deal with this for another 30 straight movies. But I'm glad to say this one that we watched today, which is Christmas with the Darlings, which I now realize, having seen the movie, doesn't make any sense because the family in the movie is called the Darlingtons. This was a good one. Yeah. What do you think?
I really liked it.
I did too. So we're, before we get into the specifics, when an assistant gives her final notice, she is drawn into helping the charming younger brother of her wealthy boss as she looks after his orphaned nieces and nephews throughout Christmas. That kind of leads it to believe like she was roped into it, but she's known this family for like 3 years now and seems to be friends with all of them. So it was more like just kind of helping out a bro. But yeah, the movie stars Katrina Law, who has been in some stuff. She was in Spartacus, both versions of Spartacus, which was Blood and Sand and like Spartacus Vengeance. You ever seen Spartacus?
No.
It was a show on like Stars. Very violent, very bloody show. Apparently pretty good. I haven't seen it, but I've heard good things. She was on Arrow. She played an Al Ghul. Not Raish.
Anna
Al Ghul?
Sophia? I don't know. It was a normal name.
She played an Al Ghul. And she was in there for like a couple episodes, like 24 something episodes.
Oh.
So she was also in The Flash as the same character. She was in Hawaii 5-0. And the most baffling thing, she was in the TV show Uncle Buck. That I guess was a thing.
There was an Uncle Buck TV show?
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Uncle Buck is a John Candy movie. Very funny.
Is that the one where he makes a pancake?
Giant pancake? Yeah. Daddy, I wet the bed. No, Donnie, you wet their bed. Very funny movie. I guess they turned it into a TV show starring Mike Epps. So it's like a race-flipped show. I don't know if it was any good, but it only lasted 8 episodes. So
maybe it was a mini-series.
That could also be, eh? So there's that. And then our male lead is played by Carlo Marx, who is famous for being in Love at Sunset Terrace, Love in the Store, Chesapeake Shores, The 100, The Flash, another person in The Flash.
Another person from The 100.
Yeah. Haley Dean Mystery, Sleepwalking in Suburbia, and Moonlight in Vermont. And then our director is Cynthia Syrian, who is known for doing Cross Country Christmas, A Homecoming for the Holidays, The Prince and Me, The Elephant Adventure, The Prince and Me 3, A Royal Honeymoon, Christmas Do-Over, and I gotta imagine The Prince and Me 2, but I didn't write it down. And also, keeping with the Christmas theme, Victoria Gotti, My Father's Daughter, which I believe was about John Gotti.
Well, his daughter, right? Victoria.
That's true. The person related to John Gotti. Was that was the Teflon Don? John Gotti?
We did take on a crime family that one time.
Yeah.
So
My mom was big into... They had a TV show called Growing Up Gotti. Mm-hmm. And it was like The Family. Which I think is strange.
What?
That we give the family of a very well-known mob boss.
Yeah, he was a crime.
TV show.
Why? He's great TV.
Yeah, that's true. But God, only in America can you fail upwards like that. Jesus Christ.
Look, there's no rules that says that criminals can't be on TV. So, you know.
True. And
in fact, based on the Me Too movement, that's where most of them went.
Gosh. Well, that and apparently British professional wrestling.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, boy.
Anyway.
Anyway. So, yeah, that is our setup for this one. And like we said, it was a palate cleanser of the last one. So hopefully if we stay like this, and I know I keep saying it, if we stay like this, it's going to be okay. But I believe this is our 10th movie. So we are a quarter of the way done.
Woo!
Which caught me by surprise.
Yeah.
Because it feels like we crammed so many movies into basically a short spot. We've only been doing this for about 2-3 weeks. And we're already a quarter of the way done, so.
Huh? It's been a fun ride so far.
Yeah. Anywho, so we begin with the plot of the film. Curtain up. We open on the biggest goddamn house I've ever seen. Like, she lives at the chateau from Chateau Christmas. I shouldn't say she, this is the boss. They are the CEO of...
At least they own their wealth this time. She isn't like a part-time preschool teacher that somehow supports this house.
This is the Darlington household. And some delivery guy drops off yet another Christmas tree. And is signed by the assistant. Her name is Jessica. I'm going to call her Janet at some point. Because I'm bad with names. And she is like super assistant. To the point where like she knows where they live. They hang out. She's like basically like a nanny. And she is leaving. She's staying within the corporation, but she is moving from assistant to corporate attorney, which is a bit of a jump.
I mean, like, she was executive assistant, so it might be a bit of a pay dump. Like, so
I got to imagine, and then she's going to this big deal. Apparently, she went to law school, passed the bar, and then got this job while she was working with them. Which, bullshit.
People work and go to law school.
They shouldn't. It's ridiculous. So she's not going to be doing this for much longer, and they're like, oh, what are we going to do without you? And she's like, not my problem. So apparently, Mr. Darlington, he's got a name, but I never remember to write it down.
The douchebag one? Or
Yeah, Max's brother.
Oh. I don't know.
Okay, so there's 3 Darlington brothers. There is Mr. Darlington. I don't know. I can't remember his name. There's Max, who's our male lead, and then there's a third one who he and his wife were tragically killed in a car accident. And so their kids are coming to stay with Mr. Darlington for like 2 or 3 days before immediately being shipped off to a boarding school.
Because these kids are the Baudelaire children.
Yes. So they're supposed to. They're wondering why Max and I'm sorry. The kids were sent to an aunt for 3 years, and now they're coming here because the aunt is sick or just doesn't care anymore, and now they're sending them to a boarding school. So they've been knocked around. They've had this will be their 4th different guardian in as many years. So, they're bummed out. But Max and Mr. Darlington here just weren't ready for kids. So I thought for half a second before, because they never mentioned Max was the brother for a little bit, I thought for half a second that it was his husband. I was like, whoa, effective. But this is the very first Hallmark movie with LGBT representation. She doesn't come up a lot, but Jessica's friend is gay. And she, like, they have a small subplot with her trying to ask out a waitress at the restaurant they frequent. So, yeah, I just thought that was kind of a cool thing. It took him 10 movies. Although I guess this has happened before. But I'm not sure.
Did they... We talked about this yesterday, didn't they say it only happened like 3 months ago or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
So this is a relatively new thing.
It's a new thing, but hey, you know, slow progress is still progress. But yeah, so Max is kind of his little brother, and he's like the runt of the litter, I guess.
I guess he's...
The Darlington boss is the older one. There was the middle child who's the guy who died, and then he's like the younger one. So they are going to take them in for like 2 days and then ship them off to a boarding school over Christmas.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Oldest darling is not a good person. Like...
No, but he's like... It's like, oh, we'll ship them to the boarding school that we went to. It was great for us. Look at us. We're rich and white. Although he isn't white.
He's a vague minority in him that I can't really pencil in, you know?
Yeah. But it was very like, man, talk about affluent. So Jessica, her job is to pick the kids up and then drop them off at the boarding school. And then that's basically like her she's going on vacation after this. And then she's off to Lawyer Town. We cut to Max, who is, and I want to stress this, not played by Chris Evans in Knives Out. But he is dressed exactly the same. Haircut, cable knit sweater, and he is like this the whole movie. He is out with his bros at some place. They're skiing. I guess he's on the skiing trip that the guy from the last movie wanted to go on.
Oh, that's true.
And then he didn't get to go.
A lot of people did drop out of that ski trip, so you don't know.
Exactly. So, and then they're setting up yet another ski trip for over Christmas, where they're going to Whistler. But one of his friends, there's 3 of them, one of his friends doesn't want to go because he just got married and wants to spend Christmas with his wife. What a fucking nerd. Max is also apparently the president of the Darlington Corporation, but never shows up, making this the strangest episode of Succession I've ever seen. If he's president, that means he's above the other guy, right?
I don't know how hierarchies in corporate town work.
It's gotta be.
What did we establish what the older brother's job was?
I think it was CEO.
Was he CEO?
I think so.
Usually CEO and president are the same person.
Maybe I'm making it up. But he's president in name only. So he gets a call from Jessica. This is the first movie where they have a relationship from before we've met them.
No, it's not.
Well, it's one that's, like, carried through. Like, we've had them, like, they were exes, and then, oh, they're back, and then, I guess you can kind of say Cranberry Christmas was, but they were breaking up, or in the middle of breaking up, and this was just, like, they knew each other, and then now they're off to Loveland.
Oh.
Was there another one like that, or?
No, I was just saying that, people who known each other, there was Chateau Christmas where they knew each other, but it was super awkward.
But they hadn't seen each other in a while.
That's true. And no, everybody else was, I just met you and this is crazy.
Here's my number. We're dating in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Turns out you're going to marry me next Christmas. So
there you go. Which is a movie, actually.
Marry me next Christmas?
Yeah.
Oh. I wonder if we strung together enough Christmas random sounding words that are happy and bright, how many of them are Hallmark movies? Like,
I would say 8 out of 10.
Like, if we had just a Christmas name generator, 8 out of 10 of them would be just Hallmark movies?
I think so. Like Merry and Bright. A Christmas at the Reindeer. Santa. That's just like they're all basically movies. So Max gets the call from Jessica. This is like how we know they know each other. And she's like, "Oh, I'm going to pick the kids up," and then they're shipping them off to a boarding school. And Max is like, "The boarding school? But I went to the boarding school." She's like, "I know, that's why we're going." It's like, I will not have this. So he pushes off the Whistler trip, and he starts driving towards where we are. I don't know how long the drive is. It's not mentioned. And Jessica pops up, and she's just like, "I can't let them go to a boarding school over Christmas. That's dumb. So I'll take them in." And he's like, "You're going to do what to the Who now?" Because I will take in these kids I do not know and have no connection with. I will move into your house while you go off in CEO. He's working on a deal with a Taiwanese company.
Yes.
And it's like, while you go off and do your thing, I will take these kids and we'll have a merry goddamn Christmas. And then after Christmas, I'll send them to the thing. So this is she's just got too big a heart, and she puts people in front of herself. Yeah, take a shot. But that is nice of her to step in. Yeah. So Max shows up afterwards, and they're like, "Hey, shouldn't you be elsewhere?" And it's like, "No, I too am taking the kids." And people are like, "But you're the family screw-up." They don't really say how or why. He's just like the screw-up.
Well, it's not the screw-up. He's the one who goes off and fucks off, right?
Yeah, but like, they don't explain why, because they're just like, "I'm here to take care of the kids," and he's just like, what? But that's out of character for you. And we're like, "How?" And they're just like, "It just is. Shut up. You just saw him skiing. People who ski don't have kids."
He is the president and somehow skiing? I mean...
Yeah. And so they're like, "Great, but Jessica already, like, took that for you." And he's like, "Then I will help her." All right. And so Jessica's like, "Okay, we're going to set the ground rules." She's like, "I'm in charge." And Max is like, "Yes, you are." And she's like, "These kids have been in Australia for 3.5 years. They haven't had, like, a cold Christmas in 3.5 years. So we are going to show them they're in New England. It's going to be a New England Christmas. And they're going to Christmas the fuck right out of it." And to their credit, they do.
Yeah. They're like, "Let's decorate a tree." And they're just like, you decorated the tree in the opening sequence of this movie.
"We'll decorate it again!"
Basically, they'll be like, "Let's go outside and decorate 2 more trees!"
Exactly. So our dynamic is set, because Max is like, "We'll wing it. It'll be great." And she's just like, "No, we'll write lists. And I'm super organized." And he's like, "I'm super fun-loving." And how are these two? What are they like?
Have you seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine? You know what the deal is.
So once again, our female lead has just broken up with somebody. And it's been too long since she's gone out, and gosh, how awkward is this going to be? Jessica's friend is a surgeon, and is a lesbian, and that's really all we know about her.
Yeah, that's it. That's really all you need to know.
She gets her own storyline.
She reads a lot of Dickens.
She reads a lot of Dickens. It was Dickens, and it was...
Austen, but...
Austen.
That was to prove that the girl at the bakery was like her, too.
Yeah. So there's a nice little, like, it's not a whole lot of, like, character, but it's a quick little, like, oh, we have a little minor storyline. And it's kind of cute. And she's like, "Hey, why don't you just go ask this lady out?" And she's like, "No, I'm too nervous. I can't." And she goes, "You're a surgeon. How hard is it to ask somebody out?" She's like, "In surgery, they're not conscious and can't reject you." I get that. So the next day, Max and Jessica go to the airport, which is the nicest airport terminal I have ever seen.
Wasn't the airport just a redecorated, like, lobby of a hotel?
It looks like it. Because there's, like, a stone background and, like, wood paneling. It's really nice and comfy.
And it's weirdly small, because if you've ever been to the airport, it's large and spacious.
Yeah.
Because a bunch of people are trying... Yet somehow, it's still the most cramped place on God's green earth.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's a private airport?
I mean, they do own the fact that they're wealthy as fuck. Yeah. So, maybe.
So, we meet our 3 kids. In order of age, we have Emma, who is the oldest, Jay Henry, who is the middle kid, and Abby, who is the youngest. These kids play a major part in the film, and all 3 of them, really solid actors. Yeah. Especially the oldest one.
You think so?
I think so, too. Yeah. Do you not?
No, I thought the little one was good.
She is good, too. So is the middle one. But I thought, like, they give the oldest one more kind of, like, emotional work to do. Because she can. But they're super polite. Like, they come in, and they're just like, we're here to take care of you. And they're like, thank you. We appreciate this. And we hope we won't be too much of a bother. Meet more Zeep. Gave off a very, like, Stepford Wives kind of thing. But they mention that. Like, that's the point. So they give them presents and their big, like, woolly Christmas sweaters. They're like, you guys are from Australia, so we thought you'd be cold, and so we got you sweaters. And the oldest one's like, thank you very much, but we thought of that. We packed sweaters. Oh. Okay.
We're from here. We've only been away for 3 years.
I still remember places are cold. So, and this is where Jessica mentions how quiet the kids are. Like, she talks to, what would you say Mrs. Potts there was?
Mrs. Brooks? Whatever.
Yeah. Was she, like, a maid? House mother?
She's probably... Like, Jessica's job is to keep his corporate life straight, and I think Mrs. Brooks' job was to keep the house straight.
Yeah.
So she's, like, the caretaker of the house.
Yeah, I guess. That's why I called her Mrs. Potts.
How come the female caretaker house is always misses something? Why can't it just be miss something and she'd be an old shrewd lady who does...
That's a good question. So, when we have the kids show up at the house, and they're, like, immediately to bed. Because not only did they just, like, lose their parents a couple years ago, but now they're moving back to America, and then they know that they're going to a boarding school afterwards. A flight to Australia is, like, 10, 11 hours. It's not great. So we show them to their rooms. I think they each get their own room.
Yeah.
And then Jay Henry, who is the middle kid, gets his father's old room, and so there's like a moment of reverence there. And then a couple hours later, they come back up to check on them, and they're all convened in their father's old room. And Emma's just like, we just wanted to be together, and we all wanted to share Dad's old room. Aww.
Okay, but, like, Jay Henry has to sleep on the floor of his own room while his sisters take the bed. Like...
No, I thought Emma was going to the bed, because I saw her put down a...
Yeah, Emma and Abby took the bed, and Jay Henry was sleeping on the floor.
Oh, gosh.
And I'm like, this is Jay Henry's room. Like, you guys are rich. Can't you get a third mattress in here? Like...
I didn't even catch that. I thought Emma was sleeping on the floor because I saw her lay down blankets.
No, because I saw both the girls climb into the bed. I mean, it works out, like, gender, like...
Yeah, the gender divided, but also their family, like...
And their siblings. Like, what's gonna... They're, like, under 10.
Yeah.
Frick's sake.
Anyway, so Jessica, the next morning, Jessica asks the kids what they want to do for Christmas. And they got nothing. Like, they just don't Christmas, I guess, very well. And so she's like, oh, I got it. We'll decorate the tree. And they're like, yeah, great, but the tree is already decorated. Like, we walked in and we saw it. And she was like, son of a bitch! We'll decorate another tree! And then she goes outside. They have these 2 trees in the outdoors, which is obviously a set. And she's like, we'll decorate these, and we'll make our own ornaments that, like, animals can eat. We can decorate them, and then we can make them biodegradable. Just like me and my mom used to do this quite a while. Used to do this a lot when she was a kid. We also find out that Jessica's mom died as well. So I think it was in her junior year. Her family divorced. Her parents divorced. And then she spent a lot of her time with her mom, and then she died in her junior year. And so she's been dealing with that. And then one of the kids looks up and is like, oh, so you're like us. And Janet's just like, yeah, I guess. Excuse me, I'll be over here. So they do have a connection there. So we have our first of, I want to say 4 montages of them baking these, like, biodegradable ornaments for the tree. And something I thought was fun. Our lady who's too busy to have fun at Christmas because she's always so busy helping other people out is actually Emma, the oldest kid.
Yeah, that's true.
So that I thought that was a nice little twist. Because it gives Emma more of a character. This is what I mean by having her, like, kind of hold some more emotional weight than the other 2 kids. She mentions, like, yeah, no, I'm busy helping these guys out. I always want to make sure that they're having as good a time as they can. So that was nice. All the kids are, like, having fun, but this looming boarding school is over their head. And so they're constantly saying stuff like, oh, this is fun, but don't get too attached. We're leaving later. Bummer. So Max is like, it's Christmas time. You guys need to relax. So I found a carriage. And this is like our 8th carriage ride in as many movies. That's all we got is carriage movies. Carriage movies? The whole movie is a carriage now. So, which makes it like, if I ever write a Christmas movie, I can't use a carriage ride.
Why not?
Because everybody's done it before.
So?
I'll feel like I'm co-opting something. You gotta be original, you know?
Well, then make it a carriage ride pulled by, like, fucking bunnies. I don't know. Like, it'll be cute.
But yeah, and then so while they're in the thing, Jessica's like, oh, you did a good job winging it, you humans, and your ability to improv. So after that, we get the decorating montage, which is our second of the montages. And is this... No, we have yet another snowman building montage.
Yeah, it was cute.
Where they have... Because I was going to bring up the snow.
Oh.
But that'll be later in the movie. We got a decorating montage, and apparently, in a couple of days, we have a Christmas party set to impress this Taiwanese developer that we're trying to merge with. And there's a problem because they don't like the theme, and they'd like another theme. God, deja vu.
No, because it was a fancy dress party, right? Mm-hmm. And, like, they looked at him, and he literally sent an article be like, I like family more than I like business. And they were like, uh-oh.
Uh-oh, everybody panic. And so Jessica's like, now what do I do? Now what do I do? Now what do I do? And Max is like, hey, I can help. And she's like, no, you can't. You don't know anything. And he's like, I have an MBA. I have a business degree. It's not just, I wasn't just born into it. And they're like, I guess, I don't know, if you throw out ideas, we'll see what we can do. And he's much more aware of the business's comings and goings than we would assume. Which is a character point, I guess.
He contains multitudes.
But yeah, that's his point. He is a complicated man. So they walk down, I guess, like a strip mall?
Kinda.
And they see a bunch of stores. And there's like a hot chocolate place, and there's a toy store right next to each other. And the girls are like, hot chocolate! And the boy is like, puzzles! And they're just like, I guess we'll split up here. So we go into the puzzle store. And the kid is just like, he's picking out these different puzzles. He used to do them with his father a lot. Which is why he loves them so much. To the point where he knew that a 2,000-piece puzzle would take 15 to 20 hours to do if they did it in a certain amount of time. And Max is like, hell yeah, let's go put together a puzzle. It's like, but if we don't do it fast enough, then you're going to leave with it unfinished. And he's like, then we're going to have to do it faster. Let's go. Jessica comes in, and he's like, hey, I'm taking hot chocolate orders. What do you want? And then the store owner comes in, and it's like, Max, there you are. It's so nice to see you. She's like, how the hell do you know him? Apparently, Max comes into the store every Christmas, around Christmas, buys the place out, and gives it to the Boys and Girls Club.
Which is real sweet.
Which is, yeah, very sweet. Because this man is a saint.
Yeah.
Because this is the first time we see something like this. It is not the last.
He contains multitudes.
So we go into the hot chocolate spot, and Jessica runs into her new boss, who I swear to God is Kenan Thompson in 30 years.
You think Kenan Thompson from the future came back into the past to do Hallmark?
I swear, because he's the same build, and he's got the same kind of haircut. Obviously, it's gray, and it sounded like he was doing how's it going, everybody? Like, when Kenan Thompson does like his characters, this, I swear to God, it looks like Kenan Thompson in 30 years. And she's like, he's like, when you're all done, come down to corporate law or us. We'll make you money. And she's like, yay, money.
Yay, piles of money.
And I can't remember which kid is it, but he's like, oh, are you not working here later? She's like, well, I'm moving. I'll still be with the company, but I'll be in the legal department. She goes, is that fun? Probably not. No, but it is steady.
Which is the correct answer to all legal jobs. Yeah. Is that fun? No. But
no, but it's work.
It's work. Look, our student loan is real big, so... Yeah.
I just thought it was funny that she paused. Is that fun? No. But, so they take the kids to lunch, I guess, or they're just drinking their hot cocoa. Point is, we're at a patio. Remember when you could eat places?
No.
Oh, God.
When did that happen?
In the long, long ago. In the before time.
In the before times.
So they're just like, they're kind of talking. It's like, oh, we got this problem with the party. And the kids are like, well, what's the problem? You might as well tell us. We might be able to help. It's like, oh, well, the person, we have it very, like, black tie, and they want it to be more homey and family-like. And then one of the kids is like, why don't you just have everybody bring their families? Like, oh, yeah, you can, like, have it at our house. This is where we live. We're a family. Why don't you do that? And that thought had literally never crossed any of their minds.
Yeah, they didn't think the house was a big enough venue, I guess.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that house is very clearly a hotel. Like...
Yeah, exactly. Right? Something I liked is that the kids were written like kids.
That's true. I thought the little girl, like, not... like, the younger girl, was written to be someone much younger than who she is.
A little bit. I could see it.
But
we're on like we're on the outskirts, kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, and when I compare kid actors, I always compare them to like the kid actors in Adam Sandler movies.
Oh.
Because I don't know when the last time you watched an Adam Sandler movie is, but when he interacts with the kids are written like adults. They have the same like jokes, the same quick fire kind of thing. They all have like the intelligence of an adult. But these kids are just like, well, they came up with the answer to the problem. And it would be something a kid would think of.
That's true.
He likes families. Throw a family party. Have them come to our house where there's a family.
And kids.
And kids. And they do.
And she's just like, oh my god, I have a Juris Doctor. And he's like, I have an MDA?
An MBA.
An MBA. And a small child just figured this out.
Just owned us. So they do that. So she goes to meet, we forgot to talk about it, but they have a family attorney.
Oh, yeah.
And they go, Jessica goes to meet her. I think her name was Lena?
Lena?
And she goes, right. I'm meeting Lena for coffee tomorrow, and I'll update her about the Christmas party. And Max goes, cool, I'll totally corrupt the kids while you're gone. I really like the rapport these two have. Because it's very friendly, it's very lighthearted. There's no, like, awkward banter. Like, oh no, are we going out or what? I think this is the first time we don't have the...
What? Us?
Yeah, exactly. The first time we don't have that. How long have you been going out? Oh, no. They're just, like, really fun and familial with each other.
Well, we don't have to play the I only known you for 3 days card, because they've known each other for at least 3 years.
Yeah. I prefer that. Maybe just because it's a difference to what we're used to. So she talks to the family attorney, and she's like, hey, you are good at this whole family thing. Why are you in corporate law? And she's like, basically the money. And she's like, yeah, basically the money. If you want, come with me. You're still in the company. Come with me and join my family law practice. She's like, you'll like it better. And I thought that was interesting because that is the type of law that you went into.
That's true. You just have to settle. The thing that they don't realize with law that they write into these movies is you have to pick whatever type of law you're willing to watch bad things happen to good people.
Yeah.
Because when you see a lawyer, all your clients are having the worst day of your life, and it's your Tuesday. Are you prepared, really, like, emotionally prepared to watch bad things happen to children? Like, that's family law.
To quote a line, the job is inherently crappy. That's why you never see a lawyer who's happy. And she says something like, the job is long and it's difficult and it's often thankless, but when things go right, they go really right.
And she's right. It's a great job because you spend long, tedious hours billing for what you're likely not going to get paid because these people don't have that kind of money, but, you know, you have to send the bill out anyway. And you get to watch terrible things happen to children. And then every once in a while you win. And it's a great day to be alive, America.
Yeah. So that's a little moment that'll come back up a little bit later. Jessica arrives and they have a conversation about Christmas cookies.
Oh boy.
They're just like, oh, we're making Christmas cookies. And they're like, great. And she comes in and is like, where's the oatmeal and raisins? And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? And she's like, I like oatmeal raisin cookies. And like, yeah, that's great. It's not a Christmas cookie. And I stopped watching the movie. And we had a conversation about this for about 30 minutes.
We did. Because her argument was that if you take a cookie and you make it into a snowman, it is a snowman that is Christmassy, ergo Christmas cookie. And her logic is not flawed.
Here's my problem. See, Christmas cookies and they mention this in the movie, I'm taking the side of Max. Christmas cookies are two things. They are shortbread and they are sugar. You can throw in gingerbread, but those are like gingerbread cookies, and they're the. But when you talk about Christmas cookies, you think about those two things. Whether or not they're your favorite cookie is irrelevant. That's what a Christmas cookie is. So you can take your raggedy ass oatmeal raisin cookie.
You like oatmeal raisin.
Raggedy ass oatmeal raisin cookie, and you can cut it to whatever Christmassy holly jolly shapes you want. That doesn't make it a Christmas cookie. It makes it a cookie that looks like Christmas. It's all in the words. It's all in the name.
Okay, but it is Christmas shaped.
That's great.
And those shortbread and sugar bread cookies are throughout the year. We established that we find those on Bake Off throughout the year.
We find many things on Bake Off. But the point is, the things you... Everybody at home, close your eyes. Unless you're driving, in which case, keep your goddamn eyes open.
Yeah.
Christmas cookie. What did you think of? It was a sugar cookie. Right?
Hopefully not that cardboard stuff.
Yeah, it was a sugar cookie or it was a shortbread cookie. It was one of them cookies. That's a Christmas cookie. Because Christmas is based on nostalgia and tradition. You can make a chocolate chip peanut butter ripple cookie and it can look like Santa's sleigh. But it's not a Christmas cookie. It's wearing a Christmas Halloween costume.
It's not wearing a Christmas Halloween costume.
I'm just saying, we have so much more movie to go, but that is my position. And clarify your position, because
if you take cookie and you have it during Christmas and it is shaped like a sleigh or a snowman in this particular instance, if it uses a Christmas cookie cutter, it can be a Christmas cookie.
This is what I'm gonna do. We're gonna throw the question out to you. Go to my Twitter. Twitter.com/emptysquare, EMPTYSQUARE, and I'm going to put up a Twitter poll, and you can answer it. We'll keep it very simple. Can oatmeal raisin cookies be Christmas cookies? I believe no. She believes yes. This will irrevocably change our relationship.
It's true. We had called out to a third party to tell us, who also loves Christmas, possibly more than her spouse. We're not sure. No, I think she loves him more, but it's
close.
It's very close. And she was like, all cookies are cookies. It sits on a spectrum. And I was like, fence sitter.
So that's what it is. It is a binary answer. Can oatmeal raisin be Christmas cookies? Yes or no. I don't want any wishy-washy in the middle kind of stuff. Twitter.com/emptysquare. I will post that tweet before this thing goes live. Because I want to know.
Is it shape or is it flavor?
Flavor.
I think that's what the question we're asking.
Yeah, is the flavor of an oatmeal raisin, can any cookie be a Christmas cookie? Maybe I'll phrase it like that. Can any cookie be a Christmas cookie? I don't think so. You do for some reason.
Yeah!
All cookies matter bullshit.
How dare you put that evil on me?
I'm sorry. That's the stance you're taking.
I'm just saying, you put them in the cookie cutter, they come out as sleighs. Christmas cookie. You put it red and green on it, it becomes a Christmas tree. That's just the rules.
Well, I can't possibly decide this. Can you? You can't see, but I pointed at you.
Twitter.com/emptysquare.
EMPTYSQUARE. Or, you know what? If you just want to, tip us $1 on Patreon, you can yell at us directly.
Yeah, you can tip us $1 and say whether or not it's a Christmas cookie, and we will say your name we will count it up. Be like,
absolutely, we will. If you are on Patreon and you want, you know what? We'll do that. Join our page. If you want your voice heard, no matter what your stance is, join up on our Patreon. Send us a DM or a message of some sort, and we will read it next episode. Yes. Probably not tomorrow, which is going to be another live episode, but next Saturday.
Or whenever we get it, if they happen to listen to this in 2 weeks.
Also that.
This is an ongoing debate until Christmas is over.
But yeah, so we're going to throw that out to you either on Twitter or on Patreon. Patreon helps us out a little bit more. But hey, it's up to y'all. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Oatmeal cookies.
That's right. Stay out of my booze. So they talk about what Emma's favorite cookie is, and she says it's toffee.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, because those were your mom's favorite. And she was like, yeah. Like, can we make those? And they're like, do you still remember the recipe? And the lady's like, I don't just remember it, I have it here. And she opens up an old cookbook, and it's a handwritten recipe from her mom. Which is another very, like, cute moment.
It's very cute, but, like, who has that well-preserved recipe?
I don't know.
Like, I have a lot of handwritten recipes, and most of them are written in, like, really terrible written handwriting with, like, stains on it. Mm-hmm. And, like, it's ripped and burned in places because I kept on putting stuff on the recipe. Hers is pristine, like her mom just wrote it. And, like, used her best calligraphy pens.
Yeah. There's a lot of these moments. They're very twee. And they're very, like, cute. But it doesn't beat you over the head with it.
That's true.
Like, this whole movie could have just been like, our parents are dead. The last thing they said to me was something. And
that's true. The kid could be sitting on the roof going, darkness, no parents.
Exactly. And none of them are. And it's done very, very well. We find out why Max never participates in the company, despite being the president. And that's because when he's the youngest, and when he graduated with his MBA, all the good jobs were basically taken. There was nothing left for him to do. And so he realized that he was kind of the beneficiary of lowered expectations. Mm-hmm. He was like, he's the youngest. Nobody really expects him to do much. And even though he has the capability, he leaned right into that shit. So...
I mean, I would too.
I would too, which is why he kind of became what he was, which is kind of a slacker. But he realized he wants to take more initiative in the company, but he doesn't really feel like he has a place. The next day, they go to a Christmas festival, which I swear to God is Cranberry Lane. The same type of look.
Yeah, it was in a barn, too, wasn't it?
It was in a barn. That's what tripped me off. We meet up with Jessica's friend, who was waiting for a crush of hers. The lady from the waitress?
Yeah, from the bakery.
Yep. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
She has a name. I don't know what
I can't remember what it is.
I think it's Kate or something like that.
Oh, it is, actually, because I remember.
No, but it was very cute, because they were in the bakery initially, and she was, and, what's her main character's name?
Jessica.
Jessica was like, give her a flyer.
Yeah.
And she's just like, but what if she doesn't like me? And so Jessica's like, here, come to my surgeon friend's volunteer work. Did I mention she was a surgeon? And also gay?
We find out that Jessica's friend knows who Max is. Because Max comes to the pediatric ward of her hospital and spends time and volunteers. Because the man is basically a saint.
Multitudes.
Uh-huh. The next night, or that night rather, Abby comes into Max's room because she had a nightmare. And there's this little bit of dialogue. Max goes, what was the nightmare about? And she goes, a fish. A fish? It was a really big fish. Which, that's something like kids could be afraid of. That sounds right. So she climbs into bed with him and they read The Wizard of Oz while she goes to sleep. In another very cute moment. Emma kind of comes out and looks around because she lost her. And sees that Max is reading her to sleep. And she becomes worried and she says, well, she always used to come to me for that. She's like, oh, well, it'll be okay. And she goes, yeah, but I don't want her getting used to this. Because they're going to leave.
Remember? The boarding school?
Yeah. So, when the kids go to sleep, Max starts talking about his relationship with his brother. The father of these kids. And apparently he was very close to him. Because in such a big family, with such a busy kind of time, his brother was always the one to kind of take care of him. And so he feels that taking care of his kids is his way of thanking him. Making sure that they have,
Good Christmas.
Yeah. Which, that's also very nice.
That's sweet, really.
Like,
we don't even know... Like, the dead middle brother is a plot device, and we get a little bit of sympathy for a plot device.
A little bit here and there, and that's well done. After the conversation, Jessica goes up to sleep, and then, like, the maid sits down, and her first words are, Max, oh, don't mess this up. And Max is like, what do you mean? He's with Jessica. I see the way you look at her. And he's like, yeah, I know, but she is out of my league. I just got, oh, Max, don't mess this up.
No, but I also that he tried to deny it. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And she's like, the first time you met her 3 years ago, you ran into a door.
That's true. And then they talk about, he's basically had a crush on her since they met. So that's kind of a nice little moment. We have our snowman montage where we make a snowman. We have a snowball fight out of what looked to be real snow.
Yeah, it splattered when they hit them, so it was real snow. And good job, props department. I knew you could do it.
I think it was a set. Yeah. But I think they brought in a snow machine.
See, it ain't that hard, guys.
I wonder how the budget is divvied out for these kinds of movies.
I feel like Hallmark proper gets a better budget than Hallmark movies.
I think so too. Because, like, you know, say you got $1 million to spread over 40 movies.
Yeah, but you repurpose a lot of stuff. You definitely must repurpose all those trees, right? And aren't they shot in the space of like a month?
I feel like it. It's fairly quickly done. Do it fast and do it under budget.
Also, we forgot to mention that our lesbian friend at the barn was just like, how do you not have a crush on that? And she's just like, what are you talking about? She's just like, he's a saint and he's cute. He's cute. Look, I'm told he's cute by other people.
I have been told previously. After that, Max's brother comes home early to rest up, and he's like, oh, and of course to see my nieces and nephews. Bullshit, you're here for a nap.
Yeah, he does not give off parental vibes even a little bit.
No, he's not necessarily a bad guy, but he's business minded.
Yeah, family definitely comes second to him.
Yeah. And Max kind of goes up to him and is like, hey, I want to take a bigger part of this business. And he's like, that's great. I'm going to go to bed. We'll talk about this later. Blows him right off.
He almost laughs at him a little bit.
Yeah, he does. Max has pushed his Whistler trip until after Christmas so he can finish spending time with the kids.
Yay!
Which is kind of nice. We have the big party. And the guy we're throwing this party for shows up. And Max is the first person he talks to. And Max's brother has that, like, oh no, he's going to ruin everything kind of moment. But Max hits it off really well because he's a funny, charismatic, and affable guy. They start talking about, apparently Max has been to his country.
Yeah, there's like an ice festival or something.
Yeah, and they bond over that. And his brother comes in and is like, wait, I have things to tell you that are business stuff. And Max is like, I'm doing okay here, I'll get it. And he's like, later, you're ruining everything. And he shuts him down because he doesn't trust him to keep it going well. What a dick.
So you can kind of hear the Charlie Brown music as he goes outside.
He does have a full on like he has a full like a head down like moment where he walks out the door.
Head down, feet shuffling out the door.
Do the song again.
Nya 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 nya.
I love it.
Nya nya nya. Nya nya nya.
Speaking of Hallmark, was it last year or 2 years ago? We went into a Hallmark, and they have Charlie Brown ornaments that interact with each other, and if they're based on the Christmas special.
It's very cute.
And It's very cute if you have one, because you press it, and whoever the character is will say part of their lines from the movie.
Yeah.
And then if you have two, they'll interact with dialogue from their movie. And they had all of them, obviously. It's just like, oh, that's cool. And so I hit the try button, and it starts playing the movie. Like, from the beginning. And then, like, it keeps going to every single character.
Yeah, it set all of them off perfectly, by the way. So if you had all these ornaments, you could listen to the movie on your tree, which hypothetically would be a really cute idea.
Yeah, I tried desperately to shut it off, by the way. Because I was like, if I hit more buttons, maybe I'll break it. And so, like, we were just like, guess we're gonna walk away.
Yeah, as we're shopping, we can still hear it playing in the distance.
And yeah, like 20 minutes later, we can still hear them just like, oh no, Charlie Brown, go get us a tree. And I'm just like, oh my God, it's still playing. And I think like
we've never been back to that Hallmark.
No, we didn't. Because I went to the lady, we bought whatever it was we were gonna buy. I think it was an advent calendar or something like that.
It was definitely chocolate.
And we exchanged the money, and I went, yeah, sorry. And she goes, you're not gonna be the only one. I know.
Okay, bye. And we have not been back to that
and
Hallmark.
Then, on brand, I walked out to na 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 na. So that's the party. The next day, his brother like calls him into his office and he's like, "Hey, I was a dick last night." And we're like, "Holy shit, he's in." You were very good with them. You can do this kind of thing, and it was unfair of me to assume you couldn't. I want you to be the liaison for this deal. It's your deal. You take care of it.
No, Lee wanted him to be the liaison. That's a plot point.
That's true. Lee is the guy who
he's the rich Taiwanese.
The rich Taiwanese guy. He's like, he wants you here, and I want you here. That's going to be your thing. He's like, great. He goes, great. Pack your bags. You're leaving for Taiwan tomorrow. And he goes, whoa.
Wait, what?
So.
Which is kind of a swerve, because, like, any long trip like that, you need a couple days to mentally prepare yourself for, like, the plane ride alone.
Yeah, especially to Taiwan.
That's like an 8-hour.
That's got to be intense. And so he has this moment where he's just like, I guess, yeah, I'll take it. And so he has that moment where he's got to tell the kids that he's not going to be there for Christmas. And Jessica has that moment where she's just like, oh, well, if he's gone, then we can't be together because he's in Taiwan. That blows. But unlike the lady from the last movie, she doesn't mope about it for 30 minutes.
No, because we've only got 10 minutes left in the movie.
That's true. Again, very well done. There was conversation and just like, well, he's going to Taiwan. It
was a very strange swerve because I checked the timestamp like, I have 10 minutes left in the movie. How are we going to fix this?
Yeah.
Is this how this ends? Oh, don't be how this ends.
It's a big bummer that for the kids that he won't be there. And the next day, like, he comes down and he realizes that the puzzle is incomplete. Because this would have been the day he would have left for Whistler. And the puzzle is incomplete like they knew it would be. And that's a sad kind of moment. And then he gets in the car and he leaves. I thought he was going to have like a change of heart there, and he was just like, I can't do it. No, he left.
To the hotel airport.
Yeah, to the hotel airport. And he sits in the very nice terminal that we saw before, and it's the exact same thing, which is convenient.
Which is very clearly the front desk to a hotel.
Yep. And he has this like wistful look, and he's kind of sad. Back at home, Henry is finishing the puzzle with everybody else, and they're missing exactly one piece. They're just like, oh, of course, these damn puzzles. And he goes, no, I gave it to Max so he'd always remember us. Oh, God. And so as he's looking through his stuff, he realizes that he has the puzzle piece with him. Because he's the missing piece of their family.
Aww.
And he has that moment where he's just like, yep, this is going to be the change of heart. And he gets up, and we don't see what happens for a while, but you know what happens. The next day, Jessica goes to her boss, because she heard the kids, overheard them talking about boarding school, and they're like, well, it's a 5-hour drive. Maybe we could come here on the weekends? And they're like, that's not gonna happen. Like, we can't, that's not feasible. And they're just like, I guess we're just gonna have to deal with it. And Emma's like, we'll make it through. We always do. And Jessica's just like, oh, for Christ's sake.
Hi, I want to adopt your kids.
Yeah, and Jessica goes in the door, and she's like, there is a school down the street. Why can't they go there? And they're just like, it's not a private school. She's like, I don't care. Or it's not a boarding school, rather. Because I don't care. They have to stay here and go to that school. And she's like, who's going to take care of them? And she's like, I will. I will take care of them. I will be here for them when they come home for school. And then he says, you would give up your career being an attorney? And she goes, no, I'd still be an attorney. This is the 21st century. But
there's a medium between them going to boarding school and me being...
me giving up my career.
And I was like, you're right, get some.
I just... You'd give up your career? And there's like a pause. And then she goes, no, that's ridiculous.
Like, it wasn't a pause of her thinking, oh God, would I give up my career? It was a pause of her going, are you fucking serious right now?
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
How are you the CEO of this company? Are you secretly misogynistic?
Oh my God, have you been misogynistic this whole time? And
like, she was doing some calculations in her head, like, real quick.
She also realizes that she doesn't want to be a corporate lawyer. And so she gives up that job, but takes up the family law job she was offered early on in the film. And so she's like, this is what I want. I want the family. I have to tell Max before he leaves. And so she gets in the car, and she drives out of the driveway, and she passes another guy, and it's Max. I don't know if you cop this. It's that scene from the Umbrella Academy.
Is it?
When
when
Five and
Vanya are just looking at each other. But they stop the car, and he's like, what are you doing? And she's just like, going to stop you at the airport. Yeah. You know, like, run through the airport and be like, hey,
she's like, what are you doing? She's like, I was going to the airport to stop you. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, I was coming here. I didn't get on the thing because I was stopped.
Because I had a change of heart and was like, wow, so many tropes at once.
Yeah. And they're literally just like, yeah, that happens. And and Max goes, you were impulsive. Like, this was an impulsive choice. And she goes, yeah, I was. And he goes, oh, I made a list. And he takes out, I made a list of all the reasons to go to Taiwan or to stay here. And I'm going to be real with you. There's a lot of good reasons to go to Taiwan. He goes, but there's only one reason really to stay here. And she's like, what is that? And he goes, love.
Aww.
And he admits that he's on a crush on her for like 3.5 years. And they have that little moment. They don't have the Merry Christmas kiss.
No, but I like that she kissed him and he was like, you're being impulsive. Is this a new thing that's going to be like constant with you? And she's like, I don't know.
That's true, you're right. Oh. And then they walk into the house and they're just like, bring out the cocoa. We're done here. And he talks to his brother and he's like, aren't you supposed to be going to Taiwan? He's like, yeah, but I'm not going to go to Taiwan until after Christmas. And there's nothing you can do about it. And he's like, yeah, there is nothing I can do about it. You're the boss here. Like, you don't have to do anything I say. I gave you, like, you're the liaison here. This is your job. If you want to leave after Christmas, you could have just asked.
Yeah, he just looks at him like, first rule of negotiation is trying to figure out who has the leverage here.
Yeah.
And it's you, because he asked for you.
And you have all the leverage. So if you don't want to leave until after Christmas, don't. And he goes, oh, so we don't have to leave until January? Not if you don't want to. Oh. Well, all right then. Good. I'm glad we had this talk.
You could have done it before I made those Taiwanese tickets, and then we didn't have to lose the money, but...
I mean, I don't know. We'll charge it to the business. And so, with that, the kids get to stay at Darlington. Max gets a bigger say in the company. Jessica gets her dream job in the field that she chooses. Max and Jessica get together. Everyone's happy. Curtain down. Mm-hmm. This is my favorite movie we've watched so far.
I like it. I really like it.
I think it's done everything very well. It's done with like a light hand. It's not too overtly emotional.
It's aware of itself.
The characters are good. You want to see them like get together at the end, but it's not too, heavy-handed. Mm-hmm. Everything feels like, in a lot of these movies, they feel like heavy-handed in the sense of like, oh, look, this is a date. They're on a date. Look at how romantic this is. They're going to get together by the end of this. That's not really here. Like, yeah, they're raising kids, technically. Mm-hmm. But they're not, like, forced into these hokey romantic moments. There's no, like, the out walking while it's snowing. And they're just like, oh, wow, look at how beautiful that is. Mm-hmm. Like, they take a carriage ride, but they take it with the kids. And they're just like, I don't know. It's a very lighthearted, happy movie that's done very well.
Yeah, everyone naturally sort of comes together. And also, they own the fact that they're just rich as fuck. Like, we don't have to pretend like this, like, she's a secretary and somehow makes 12 digits.
A struggling teacher with a 5-bedroom house.
Yeah, like, they're just like, yeah, no, we rich, so we can do whatever we want. Here's all the plot device money, you know? I don't know, it was just sweet, and it was nice, and it had a subplot where we tried to get the surgeon together with the bakery girl.
Yep.
Because, like, there was a point in there where she asked her friend and be like, hey, so, you want to come to this party? And she was like, can't. I have a date. And she's just like, with the bakery girl?
Explain all of your things!
And the baker girl does eventually show up as that Christmas festival thing.
Yep.
At Cranberry Lane there.
It's gotta be, man.
They're all secretly in the same universe. Like, if you pay attention, you can see Oprah in the background. No, but it's fun, and it's happy, and it's bright, and everyone wins.
Yeah, and like every one of these movies, there's a reason why I end every episode with everyone's happy. But I don't know. It's just, it was a good one, and it was probably my favorite one. Score-wise, what would you give it?
Oh, like, could it have been better? Could it have been like a cinematic movie, do you think? Like, could we have released this in theaters?
Not in the way it is, but I think with this concept, hell, even with these actors.
Yeah.
I think if you punched it up a little bit, maybe added some stuff here and there, yeah.
I think with a bigger budget, I think we could have released this in theaters. So it gets a 10.
You're going for a 10?
Yeah, because that is what the 10 is. Basically, if you punch it up a little bit, it could have been released in theaters.
I wanted you to go first because I was embarrassed about how high my score was. I gave it a 9.
Nice.
It's not, there's something about it that's keeping it back from being like a normal movie. But I felt like as I watched this, there's a lot of moments in these other movies that like you can skip. That are just like, this is just wasted time. This is this. You can finish an hour and a half movie in like an hour and 10 minutes. I watched this whole thing straight through, and I didn't feel bored. I didn't feel like things were ham-handed and hacky and hokey. But yeah, I maybe with a bigger budget and a bigger like.
You send it through a writing staff like one more time.
Yeah, another couple passes, and I think this could have been, or at the very least, like a Netflix.
Yeah, like, I think it deserved a bigger budget, and I think with, you know, a little, you sharpen it up a little bit, it could have had, like, a theatrical release. It could have been on Netflix. It could have been...
I think so, too.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 9, which, wow, so we go from the lowest rated movie we've had so far to undoubtedly the highest.
Yes.
That would make this a 9.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow, that's good. That's nice, I think.
Yeah, because I think what's holding it back is the fact that it's a Hallmark
movie. It is definitely a Hallmark movie.
And it has to be within the constraints of Hallmark.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's holding it back.
I wonder if, like... Well, we might have to rewatch this one, say, in, like, June. Because maybe we're just, like... Maybe it's call it the beneficiary of lowered expectations.
Oh, you think the Christmas ring lowered us so hard?
Maybe? I don't want to take anything away from the score. Obviously, I gave it the score I gave it.
We could give it next year, and
we might. But yeah, this one is worth seeking out, I think.
Yes, watch it definitely.
Yeah, but yeah, so I think that's where we're gonna end this one for today. We have one more movie to go through tomorrow, and that will be live streamed. Much like we did yesterday with the Christmas ring. This one is called The Christmas Bow. I think we're just going to live stream everything named The Christmas.
Well, this is called The Christmas with the Darlings, isn't it?
No, just Christmas with the Darlings.
Oh.
This is The Christmas Bow.
I see.
So who knows? If it's anything like The Christmas ring...
Uh-oh.
But yeah, so that's probably going to be tomorrow at like 4 o'clock?
Yeah.
4 o'clock p.m. West Coast time, whatever that means for you. Just like with the last one, we'll post it afterwards like a normal podcast. But if you want to hang out with us, watch the movie with us, you can do that. If not, well, we'll see you Saturday for the next one, which is over here in my notes app. Hold on.
So do you guys think that oatmeal raisin can be a Christmas cookie? I really do. I mean, you put it on a Christmas plate, you make it shaped like Santa, you're good to go. You put some hats on it. Like...
It would be Christmas in Vienna.
Which sounds cute.
Which sounds like it's going to be interesting. And then the one after that is going to be a timeless Christmas.
Oh, time travel.
Which is time travel.
Nice.
So I hope we get more Doctor Who and less the Time Machine.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, you never know.
My point being is that it's time travel, so you can lean into the lunacy a bit.
I hope they do, because I think that's when these movies like shine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so join us tomorrow at 4 o'clock West Coast time, West Coast America, whatever that means for you. And we will watch The Christmas Bow together, and we'll hopefully see how that one goes.
Yes.
Like we said, go to our Twitter, twitter.com/emptysquare, to vote on what you think of the Cookie Battle 2020.
Yeah. As you know, money is speech. So if you want us to tell us how much either what is and is not a Christmas cookie, give us $1.
Yeah, go to patreon.com. Our lowest tier is $1. And if you want that, you can tell us what you really think. And we will read it out either tomorrow during the live stream or Saturday during our next episode.
Yeah. We'll just keep bringing it up.
But yeah, that's patreon.com/emptysquare. Empty Square spelled the same way I just said it earlier. EMPTYSQUARE. I know I don't have to spell out the words empty and square, but I feel like it's nice to.
Yeah, you think so too. Just in case. You know.
Yeah. Pimp your Twitter out, kids.
Come and talk to me about all cookies, Christmas or not, at Aquadia_. I like cookies! I'm a fat kid, and I like bacon, and it's Christmas. Bring me your cookies. Share me your thoughts. We'll make Joe Biden cookies together.
Bring us your cookies. Bring us your thoughts in the form of cookies.
Yeah. We'll have
a
nailed it competition. It'll be great.
That would be cute.
Yeah.
All right. Should they watch it?
Yes.
I think so too. 9.5 out of 10. I'm kind of surprised too.
Okay, have fun.
All right, guys.
Eat lots of cookies. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas. We'll see you guys tomorrow for Real.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Like and subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe. Comment again. I guess that helps quite a bit. Smash that bell.
Is that still a thing?
I think so. I'm bad at this. Just watch us and like us, please.
Please. Merry Christmas.
All right, love you. Bye.